Alright, I've played around 25 hours of Star Wars Outlaws, a Ubisoft game that has been receiving a lot of hate recently because of its very expensive Ultimate Edition, and so a lot of people wondering, is it worth it? Let me be upfront with you, I think that Ubisoft have delivered a solid Star Wars adventure game, and I even think that some of the hate is very undeserving. Is this one of the best games ever made? No, hell no in fact. There are a lot of flaws, however, the positives outweigh the negatives in my opinion. And what are those negatives, you ask? And I can see you trying to find reasons to dislike this game, and so I'll just ask to be open to the idea that maybe it's actually good. Okay, now it sounds like I'm defending Ubisoft and they paid me to say that. And if you're one of the people that believe that, continue to moan, continue to groan, I don't care, think whatever you want. But if you're willing to give this game a chance, come, let's dive into why I think you still should play it.
This way!
You play as Kves as you travel to multiple planets to recruit a team to pull off the impossible heist. The characters you meet are relatively interesting, but your companion Nix is the star of the show and is a creature that I will literally kill for. He is also key within the stealth gameplay, using him to distract enemies and interacting with various objects that can turn the environment to your advantage. Enemies aren't that instinctive though, which can lead to some very repetitive gameplay the more you play. But when things go wrong, the combat gameplay can get exhilarating as you try and blast your way out of a situation. Using your trusty blaster that can be upgraded to shoot in different ways, but you are also welcome to pick up and use a variety of enemy weapons. While it isn't one big open world, instead it is 5 planets, all with their own unique biomes that is actually stunning and breathtaking, all in their own right, and it's a joy to explore. It isn't as bloated as previous Ubisoft games. You can see that they tried really hard to work on the quality of the missions rather than the quantity. However, there's still plenty to do. I particularly appreciated how there wasn't any XP to grind, there's no experience points, instead the way that you unlock abilities is through specific missions and just naturally playing the game. However, traversing the planet on the speeder needed a lot more work as it feels stiff to maneuver and defeating enemies on it is very wonky, especially with the Deadeye ability that isn't as satisfying as it looks. You also get your spaceship that you use to get from planet to planet and explore the galaxy and get into some dogfights. While it is a nice change of pace, overall I think that it isn't as well designed as it could have been. The story isn't anything special, but the different crime syndicates that you encounter and the choices you make whether to portray one or the other does keep things interesting. Trying to keep them all happy is impossible, but the ones that you do choose to make happy will reward you with interesting items and it will impact the open world. Cutscenes weren't amazing though, because the facial expressions would range from dead to acceptable, which is baffling for a game like this. A quick note about performance and stability. I know a lot of people have been asking about it. I played in the quality mode. I know, shock horror, but I do prefer those crispier graphics, and it ran consistently in 30 frames. I did play around with the 40 frames mode and the 60 frames mode. They ran fine. I've heard mixed things from different people over on PS5. Go do your own research, maybe look at Digital Foundry, they're great with that. And when it comes to bugs, there weren't any like game-breaking bugs. However, it does feel a bit unpolished. It felt like it could have used a couple months in the oven, but overall, I thought it was fine. To end off, I think that this is a very solid Star Wars adventure that nails its setting and has very engaging gameplay. However, it does have its flaws, but overall, I do recommend you play this game. But I know not everyone agrees, and so let's talk about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments, but if you've watched this far, I'd love for you to hit that like button, and maybe if you liked it so much, hit subscribe. But that's it from me. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Alright, you win.